Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
And I'm Andy Sparks.
We're sitting out here on the deck. There's a storm right there that's, that's headed this direction, but we think we can beat the rain.
I think we can.
We're sitting out here, we're sipping some Avery Maharaja from Andy's keg. Cheers.
Cheers.
And behind us is, if you haven't noticed, is a barrel. What do we got here, Andy?
So I have a little a bourbon barrel. It's I don't know if any of you've noticed on the AHA website and in the newsletters recently they had an ad for some small bourbon barrels, freshly dumped bourbon barrels from Woodinville Whiskey Company up in Washington State. So I decided, sounds like a fun project. Why don't I get one and James and I could play with it a little bit.
Now, usually when we talk about aging beer in barrels, we're talking about these giant, what, 50, 60 gallon barrels.
Right.
And you usually have to have a club activity or something to
correct.
Get everybody together to fill the kegs or to fill kegs and then put the beer in here. Anyway, it's a big undertaking, but this is being 8 gallons on Andy's system. You know, that's one batch.
Yeah, right. Very manageable. We're actually going to have a little fun. We're probably going to do a little bigger batch, enough to fill this and have a little left over.
So we can do it before and after tasting.
Exactly. Or some blending like our friends at Firestone and other places that do that.
Yeah. Now, the dynamics are different with a smaller barrel.
That's right.
What's the difference?
Well, basically you have more wood surface area to volume, to liquid volume. You only have 8 gallons in this guy. And so more of the volume is always touching the wood, right? And especially in these little barrels, they do some special stuff with these little barrels to help even drive up the wood extraction. They create kind of a honeycomb pattern on some of the staves to help get even more extraction. So for us, that's going to be one of the things we want to be a little concerned about, is not letting it sit in the barrel too long. We're going to want to taste it fairly regularly and pull it once it has a nice flavor.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to do 2 or 3 batches and keep extracting some of that delicious bourbon character out for a while.
And we talk about in detail the oatmeal stout that you've got planned for the barrel.
Right.
And in the tradition of Basic Brewing Video, we have a dog playing in the.
My dog
we
Avery.
love dogs. So
my dog Avery.
We'll talk about that beer in more detail, and when we get it done and it's ready to taste, we will come back on the show and we will show the brewing process and how it all went together and do a tasting of all that.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but what we want to talk about most today is the little project that the barrel is sitting on.
All right. Well, one of the things when we got the little barrel and we started talking about doing this project, we quickly realized that. We had it sitting on a cushion or on some towels to keep it from rolling around and stuff. We realized we were going to need a little stand for it. But that's not the important part of this project. The important part is what's going to go in it. So we didn't want to invest a whole lot of time in building a stand. So I came up with this little quickie stand, used a little jigsaw, knocked it out. I don't know what it take us, half an hour, 45 minutes maybe, and we kind of designed it as we went. So
take us kind of step by step how you came about this idea or how it came together.
Well, basically I wanted to use scrap lumber. I had some of these 2x6s laying around, so I was trying to figure out how could I, use these in some way to build a little stand. So what I did is I took a piece of kind of a like wire. It's actually for this very thing. It's for tracing radiuses and arcs of things so that you can, draw it onto your wood. But you could even do this with a coat hanger, I'm guessing. So I just took it and I bent it so that it made this nice shape of the barrel, and then we just used that and traced it onto the 2x6, and then I simply cut it out with a jigsaw. Now there's a slight angle here, right, and we wanted it to sit and hold it fairly nicely. So I did cut this part at about a 7 to 12 degree angle. My little jigsaw doesn't have it down to the degree, so I was just winging it, and then we just notched these out. So there's a little notch here and then a notch in here, so they kind of snap together. Fairly simple. It's not very pretty, but it certainly is functional and it's going to do the job, I think.
I like it. I think it's very rustic looking.
Rustic for sure.
But it goes with the wood of the barrel, and And you know, I have a feeling that you're going to come back and do a little buffing or sanding or you know, something to clean it up a little bit. I certainly could do some stuff. You know, I mean, I have some other tools. I could get the router table out and roll the edges over, but in a sense, it's kind of, its purpose is already that it can do its job now, and so we'll see. And important things. You know, I was thinking when we were going through the design phase, why not make this part flush with the floor? I mean, why not notch that out so that it's all the way to the ground?
Well, there's a very good reason why you might not want to do that. And one of the things is when you first fill these guys up, and we're hoping this isn't the case for this guy, we've actually added a extra bottle of bourbon and to keep it damp. I keep rocking it around in there, but sometimes these get a little dry, and once they dry out a little bit, they will leak. And what you don't want to do is make it so you can't get underneath it and clean up any little spills, because that would just make a place where bacteria could thrive and stuff. So you want to be able to get in and get under it and clean out if you do have any little drips or anything. So.
And this is not nearly as heavy as a full-size barrel, but you said it weighed full. It's going to weigh around 100 pounds or something like that.
It'll weigh right at 100 pounds, like 98 pounds. I actually took the barrel before I put the extra bottle of bourbon in, took it in, got on the bathroom scale, and then figured out how much the difference was between me and the barrel. And then I just did the math. It's like 8.3 pounds, something right around there, per gallon. We're going to do 8 gallons. And like I said, came out to be right around 100 pounds, about 98 pounds. I think this guy easily be able to support that.
Can be way sturdy enough. And this is a smart design in that you don't want to, even at 100 pounds, which is relatively small compared to the big barrel, you don't want to be having to lift that up to clean out under it or
exactly right. You don't want to have to pick this up after we fill it.
Hi, puppy. Hi, Avery. She wants to play. Well, excellent. I can't wait. I mean, I'm really excited. I'm glad you went ahead and this was kind of an impulse buy when you saw the ad on the AHA newsletter.
And I think they sold out in like a week. But you can order more. I think they've got another batch coming due, and I think their plan is to release every couple months. So that'll be another batch of these little baby guys. They're a little expensive, but on the other hand, you could probably run several batches through this. Maybe go in with a friend. Get something like this, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's other places that are also selling, you know, these kegs. So.
And once the oakiness is out of the barrel, we may sour it up.
Oh, you can count on that. Michael Tonsmeyer will be calling you.
Mad Fermentationist, along with Nathan Zender. Listen to our audio podcasts with those guys for all kinds of conversations on barrels and souring beers.
And sour beers, delicious stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, we're done, and we're still dry.
And we beat the storm.
Cheers to you. Cheers. We hope that you'll do something like this. Here comes the thunder.
Yeah.
Till next time, we'll keep you posted. Stay tuned. Cheers. Come and visit us on the web at basicbrewing.com. You can find archive lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Extract Brewing and Partial Mashing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, Introduction to Wine Kits, and for a limited time, our 2012 Brewer's Logbook. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to James at basicbrewing.com, Steve at basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com. I think that worked out.
Yeah.